Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Intuitive Catalyst podcast. I'm Leilani, your host, and today we are joined with the deeply divine, a bridge to the other side, Alexandra Shelly. Alexandra is the modern medium, a practitioner that is here to not only help you embody your soul, but to truly guide you back to your own wisdom. She believes that spirituality is in everything and is for everyone, and that everyone has their own unique gifts and purpose in this world. She blends her creativity, joy, and dynamic energy with practices that have been acquired from world-renowned psychic mediums in order to create accessible and life-changing evolutions. Alexandra is also a Reiki master and integrative trauma coach. She loves to blend her work and bring clients to a place where they feel totally safe, secure, and to realize the magical possibility of tapping into their gifts. And when I think of Alexandra, I am just filled with so much. I'm hearing the word like expansion, expansiveness. Our conversation is so good. If I do say so myself, I feel like we were tapping into this energy of divine truth that is honestly rare. It's rare to really be able to kind of be with somebody who matches this ability of mine to like download truth as it's coming through. And she's just such a powerful bridge and medium. And I can't wait to share it with you. We unpack so many things like chaos energy and timelines and destruction and understanding like divine order and the chaos. And I think that what I love the most about this conversation is that I believe we both kind of like took ourselves out of it. We just kind of took ourselves out of it, and what was left was the truth. And I'm just super excited to share it with you. So, without further ado, I welcome Alexandra Shelly to the podcast. Alexandra, welcome to the podcast. Thanks for being here.
Oh my God, Leilani, thank you for having me. I'm so excited. I love how I saw you on Threads and I was like, or we saw each other on Threads and we're just like obsessed. And then we connected over our Clips romances, and then we're even more obsessed. It's so fun. So I am so happy to be here. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it was so fun. I had this wild hair up my ass to be like, hey, can we just be voice messaging buddies? And thankfully you agreed. And then we went into all of our romantic escapades separately. And yeah, it's crazy. And Threads is just where it's at. My listeners are going to get so sick of me talking about Threads because it's like I have met so many beautiful souls who have turned into friendships, and it's just the best. It's the best.
I love Threads. And I think because I'm a writer and a reader, it
Same.
just really resonates with me. So like I love, and yeah, like you're literally the same because you've written a book, but it's like that's also my mode with spirit is like channel writing. So it's like writing, it just translates so well. So anyways, I won't be sick of it.
I know. Well, I'm going to start with the one question that I always ask, and you can tell us all about yourself. So, who are you? What is your big work in the world? And how do you source from your intuition to do your work?
Wow, I love it. So who am I? I am Alexandra Shelly. I am the modern medium, and I'm based in Orange County, California. I am a psychic medium, Reiki master, integrative trauma coach, writer. I also have a podcast as well, Embody Your Soul. And my work in the world, I'm like spirit. So they're saying I'm meant to communicate. I'm meant to communicate and share the word of higher consciousness, of spirit, of authenticity, of intuition, of all the deliciousness. I also really feel like I'm meant to inspire. I'm meant to give energy and just give love, and I'm not meant to do this work in a way that's, by the book. I would say I really do this very much like just in my energy, in my zone, and I'm super silly. I am playful. I'm full of joy. And as much I know Leilani and I were just talking about, like, we hold so much shadow and so much pain in our work, but also like it doesn't have to be all that too.
Mhm.
And back very traditionally when psychic mediums and there was, Arthur Finley and all that stuff, like it became very scholastic, white old men, which I'm like, okay, period. Like white old men connecting to source, we love it. But then it created this like code of like it has to be scholastic and strict and whatever. And I'm like, no, I can't, I literally cannot be that way. So I just know I'm meant to create as well. I'm meant to create and give birth to many books and just many
Mhm.
beautiful creations. How do I source my intuition? My goodness. I guess, do you mean that by like Claire? Like, I guess, like, could I ask?
Whatever comes up for you.
Okay. Um, Definitely, I would say I know what's coming through is joy. Like, in joy,
Mm.
but also in agony, and like just connecting to my creativity and using my creativity as a channel, writing for sure. Yeah, I'm very clairaudient, very cognizant, clairvoyant. I'm also like I'm very clairsentient, and it's funny because lately, which I shared a threads on this, is like, it's that simple to ask spirit, "Hey, can I actually wanna lean on clairsentience a little bit more." So I've
Mm.
actually been working on that because I'm so clairaudient, so claircognizant. I'm like, "Okay, I kinda wanna get out of literally my head a little bit and, like, get more into the body." Um, Goodness gracious, and I feel like what's been really interesting is my experiences with spirit lately haven't been as like hit me in the face, knock me over, massive like apparitions. It's actually been so mellow. And I think that's just because I feel really integrated with spirit. Spirit's just a part of my life. Like I don't feel separate from God or source. So I don't need these big experiences to prove to me that I'm connected. Like I just am connected. So that's what's been kind of cool is I've just noticed I'm like, oh, like I haven't been seeing crazy things or like having these wild transcendental things, but it's just because I don't need it. And
Mm.
I feel really grounded. So I've kind of been playing with that as well. So, anyways, that was all over the place, but I hope that
It
makes
I it wasn't though. I think yeah, it made a lot of sense. And I also it's really interesting. So you and I have connected around like shifting timelines and like
Mhm.
interdimensionality, and there's just the portals, the chaos portals that we are navigating. And everything that you mentioned about like, I don't feel separate from source God. I feel that so much. And I'm the opposite. I was very clairsentient for a long time. And that
Mm.
was just kind of like my passive way of existing as a psychic before I kind of really felt into that role for myself for like years and years. I can feel it in my body. I feel the chills. I feel the emotions. And I'm actually flip-flopped. So I'm in a space now where I am more claircognizant. And that shit's
Mm.
wild. It's wild to just be like, I just know something. And people are like, how do you know? And I'm like, bitch, I don't know. Like, I just know. And it's when I think about the energy that's required to download messages, like claircognizance takes so much of the middleman like out of it. There's like,
Mhm.
there's no like deep energetic loss when you receive a claircognizant message. It's just like it's just what is. It just happens. It's
Mhm.
just downloaded. And being from like I feel like Claire sentience is one of the most like highly energetic
Yeah.
like it takes so much energy to be a clairsentient because you have to like embody, you have to feel it, and then you have to translate it. And it's just this like process. But I really resonated with everything you were saying. And I would say it's been what 5 or 6 months that my claircognizance was like, okay, I'm in the front seat now.
Mm.
And it's been wild. It's been a wild and to the point where like I'm just kind of finding myself doing things like earlier I was just like I've talked to my listeners about this is like I'll just like be drinking a glass of water. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even know I needed that. Like my body is just kind of in this
Ah,
place of like the downloads are just how I exist now. And when you talk about that you don't feel separate from God's source, it's like I feel like we have kind of gotten to this place where that integration of our energy with the energy of the all that is always surrounding us is like my old habits, my automatic habits used to be things that would deter me from living into my highest self. And now my
mm,
automatic habits are aligned with that higher timeline, that integration with God's source. Like it's been a while. Like I hope people can understand because I know you and I we exist and talk as energy, like we are translators for energy. So you and I are like, oh, we're hitting. I just really hope that the listeners are also like receiving that that
mm.
that this is the way that energy is translated. You know what I mean?
And I love what you said about downloads are just a way of living. And that is like so key. And that's what I've realized with like clear cognizance is also just when you feel really embodied too, is like your life is very automatic. Like I'm not,
Mhm.
I deal with, I'm very neurospicy, like anxiety, depression, OCD, ADHD. And
Mhm.
so I can very much get in my head and it's incredibly debilitating. But even though those things exist and I can get triggered and whatever, I still like I live so automatically just like with my intuition and with source. And of course I have my days where I feel off, but I love what you said. So I really wanted to celebrate that.
I also I have depression, anxiety, mild OCD, and there was a part of my journey where had to really accept that yes, these parts of me that in the past I've judged or like it doesn't feel ideal to exist in this way is also part of the way that the downloads are downloading. Like
Mm,
especially ADHD, I would assume because it's like you're just constantly getting information at all times and like okay, creative, like here's a creative project and here's this and here's that and it's
totally.
like I feel like that. So can you tell me a little bit about like if at all have you experienced your neuro spiciness as downloads? I mean, just for those who are like, I couldn't possibly be this medium or psychic or whatever because I have the like I think a lot of people
Mm.
kind of talk themselves out of their gifts, but I'm like, but maybe that is the gift, right?
Yeah. Totally. So I know at least what I've been really working on, and also part of the reason why I'm like feeling guided to feel into like clairsentience is like I've done the work to really know, okay, I know the tone and the content of anxiety and the tone and the content of spirit messages and intuition. So even if I am going through like dark periods, I know which to decipher. I also give myself patience because I'm human and I don't make immediate decisions yet. I let myself like feel through those things. I also feel like, yeah, there definitely is something to being neurospicy and and receiving spirit messages. And it's definitely, I think it's just a matter of like deciphering the tone and how these downloads make you feel and how the thoughts make you feel. Because, yeah, of course, I've been there where I'm like I am so overwhelmed. Like my anxiety OCD is going like this and bringing me on a ride, and intuition is just like this, just steady, maybe
Mm.
two words here and there. So it's like you could really use it to your advantage, but I would even say like leaning on clairs that come easiest to you, but also just like make you feel really empowered. So then you can like be able to decipher, okay, this is an anxious thought I'm spinning, or this is really spirit speaking to me, or I really feel spirit right now. And I think even I always tell my clients, listeners, followers, students, like develop and be open to developing more than one clair, because this allows you to like piggyback off the other. Okay, I'm getting a clear cognizant
Yeah.
download. I'm feeling a little bit of monkey mind right now. Okay, I clear sense, I feel it physically. Okay, yeah. Or like the opposite way. So I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would also say that I think that, and in my experience, so I've supported a lot of people in becoming more aware of their psychic
Mm,
abilities, their clair senses. And I think that this is something that people kind of misunderstand. There's like maybe a myth that, you have like one clair sense and then there's these others maybe, but there's one that's really standard and that's true for you. And it's like, babes, like we are energy. We are pure fucking energy. And so all of and even speaking in terms of clairsenses can feel really limiting too,
yep.
right? I use the clairsenses for understandability, for people to
Yes.
kind of get an idea of like, okay, here's kind of a framework that might support you. But I saw a post, I think it was Chrissy Tolley on Threads, who's also an amazing psychic and medium, and she's like, can we just trash the clairsenses? Can we just like get rid of them? Because like what we experience as our psychic abilities is like so much more than all of them, right? And I'm kind of in the camp of let's let's use them as a framework to begin to understand how the downloads are downloading and perhaps allow ourselves to believe that it's more than that. And then for people who think, well, I'm just clairaudient because they're just coming in this way. If you believe that, it's going to always be true for you. But I
Yeah.
would posit that you are more than the one clairsense that you think that you're experiencing. And
Mm.
just like you said, like we have the autonomy and the empowerment to say, hey, I would love to spend a little less energy on the way that the downloads are downloading. So I'm kind of loving clear cognizance right now. And I kind of consented to that with source, right?
Mm.
And we get to consider that we have this like tool belt of the ways that we can experience energy and receive energy and downloads. So yeah.
Yeah. No, I love what you said. It's like I agree with her, but then I also like more agree with your point is I think it's really important for this work to have a framework, because if there's no framework, then it's just wild out there.
Yeah, yeah,
Even though source and God, the energy is of ease and flow, this just allows us to be like even personally, I know people are like, no labels, but I'm like, I need labels for my mental health. Like that, I actually feel like empowered and I understand, because if I
mm,
didn't, I'd be like, what is wrong with me? Like, what's going on?
yeah,
But also, like, something that people need to realize is like there's clear audience, but there's so many experiences within clear audience, and there's
right.
clear cognizance. There's so many. So I think that's where I would dispute her, where I'm like, yes and no. Like there's a multitude of experiences. So it's like
Mhm.
remembering that actually each is super expansive. It's just not putting them in a box.
Right. Right. So what I hear you say in the message that I'm hearing, and this is something that I've been trying to, I don't know, maybe understand on an energetic level for about a decade, is that there is structure. There is freedom within the structure.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
freedom is only available to us within the structure.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, as kind of like a potential for a universal truth. Because no matter what, even if it feels like chaos, and this could be a good segue into like the timelines and the chaos portals, which we're so excited to talk about.
Mm.
Uh, but even in what would appear to be pure chaos, and I've been in navigating so many situations where I'm like, did I do that? Like I entered a
Mm.
space and I left it in chaos, and I'm like, that oop, oop, sorry. But it's also like, even within chaos, there is divine order always,
Yes,
right? So even
absolutely.
in the chaos of whatever circumstances you're swirling in, because there's a lot of chaos, and people won't hear this for a couple of months, but I can almost guarantee that there will still be chaos in a couple of months. And even within the chaos, we have to not have to, but we get to decide that we can see the divine hand in it all. And
Mm-hmm.
and there's something really comforting about that, because chaos for the sake of chaos is chaos. Like that
Yep.
there's no point to it, right?
Yep.
But what I have seen is chaos generally has some divine order to it.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. 100%. Yes.
So let's talk about it. Let's talk about, I mean, and some of y'all are like, okay, what is a chaos portal? What is a timeline shift? Like, what does this mean? Let's start. We're gonna like break it down for these folks, right? And for those of you who, and I'll put this in the show notes, if you're curious about the clairsenses, I did have a podcast episode in the last season where I break down channeling 101 and I talk about the clairsenses. So go visit that. It's the last episode in 2022, and I'll put it in the show notes. But
Mm.
for those of you who are like, what do you mean by timeline shifting? Let's talk about it. When you hear someone, Alexandra, when you hear someone say the timeline has shifted, what does that mean to you?
So it's really funny because I know I've kind of had debates about these and how I feel. But to put it so simply, you're just embodying who you really want to be on
Mm,
a higher, more attuned, more embodied level. And it 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 could be as simple as, you know what? I'm in a crappy mood, but I'm going to dress hot today. I'm going to dress in color. I'm going to just feel good. You're stepping into a timeline of like, this is my true self. I'm not going to
mm,
let my anxiety or whatever get in the way of me. Or it could be as super like, just ethereal, esoteric as like I did a manifestation practice and I just know deep down something shifted. And
mhm.
when something shifts, everything around you responds differently. And I know at least like with my experience, like my romantic experience that I know I've opened up to Leilani about is I knew when I did this sex magic practice, I was like, I clear cognizantly knew I was like, oh, I just shifted something. And then immediately the changes happened. So it's interesting because also I feel like practitioners or people or whatever have made spirituality to be like really complicated, but it's actually rather simple. It's just the ego and, our limiting beliefs. It's like we make it more complicated because of
Mhm.
what we have to get through, of what we have to dive deep into. And it feels complicated, but really, it's just connecting deeper and deeper to the embodiment of who you would much rather be. Like, do I want to be this person who is writing the script of, insecure, anxious, all that? Or do I want to write the
Alone,
script?
abandoned.
Yeah. Or like,
Yeah.
do I want to write the script of like, I'm empowered and I have certainty, of my timeline? So again, I hope that answered your question, or I hope it
Yeah.
answered
You can
well.
stop saying that because you're doing a beautiful job answering our questions. Our meaning
Okay.
like me and my spirit team, I guess. So it's interesting. So what I'm hearing you also say is there's a few threads that came forward as I was hearing you talk is
Mm,
the critical nature of self-love in this practice of shifting timelines, because we have to love our current self and
mhm.
our higher timeline self with the same intensity, right? We have to love them both and understand that there's this like there's no space for judgment about
Mm,
either one of them, right? And so in order for us to believe that we have the capacity to jump into this timeline where we are more embodying our higher self, our higher experience, the experience that we said that we wanted when we came here, before we came here, we co-created a plan with God source, and we get to walk that path, and we have to be able and willing to truly love both versions, all versions of ourselves all at once. And
mhm.
that looks very different for different people. And when I say self love, I don't mean like getting a facial, and that's all beautiful and fine, like the going to the spa and like that kind of self love. It's like, yeah, that's cute. And
Literally.
I'm not judging. And there's this depth of self love that only comes from really sitting with like the parts of yourself that you feel the most unlovable,
Yeah.
right? And sitting with those parts of yourself and knowing that they are so deserving of love, not just from God's source, because God's source is going to love us through everything. Our ancestors are going to love us through everything, but that we deserve our own love in those
Mm.
spaces. So when I
Mhm.
think about the timeline shift, what I'm seeing is like two, and for those that are watching this on YouTube, it's like, here's like where the shift occurs, right? And there's this like quote unquote lower timeline, for lack of a better word, that is like, this is where I'm like, I'm anxious, I'm not lovable, I'm just alone, whatever, whatever. And then there's this higher timeline where it's like, we actually believe that we are who God says we are, right? And there's this dissonance here. Sometimes in order to hop up, it requires that we really reckon with those
Mhm.
stories in the lower timeline. It's not something where we can just bypass like all of the shadows. This is what we call shadow work. We can't bypass it and go to this higher timeline. We must be able and willing to sit with ourselves, to love ourselves in that space. And what is so beautiful about that is often when we get to that place of like, I get it, I'm loving myself the way that God, source, the universe loves me. And then it just like accelerates us into that higher timeline, right?
Mhm.
And the other component of this is the circumstances, the people, the jobs that existed in this lower timeline. I call this the circumstances spitting me out. It happens so much where whatever relationship wasn't big enough for this higher timeline, whatever job wasn't big enough, whatever experience wasn't big enough, whatever stories I was telling myself that weren't big enough, like it just all kind of like spits me out. Like I'm like, oh my God, there's an ending, there's an ending, there's an ending.
Yep.
Like things are just wrapping up in this old timeline. And then we're left with like kind of this empty feeling in the higher timeline. Like, I had love, I had a job, I had money, I had all these things. And I'm in this higher timeline where I love myself and yet I have nothing, quote unquote, but you have space. You have like this infinite space. And
Mm.
Gaia, Mother Earth, often tells me nature abhors a vacuum. So like
Mhm.
when we come into that space and we have this like spaciousness where anything and everything can fill that void that was left from the circumstances spinning us out, like don't fill it with trash, right? Like don't just like the first the first person that gives me attention, like I'm going to go for that. It's like we then get to make choices about what honors that higher version of us, and we get to be patient about what we fill that space with. And then
Mhm.
the next timeline appears, and then the next, and then the next. It's this like iterative cycle that we don't always have to go into. We get to make choices about elevating our timelines, and like if you so choose the adventure of it, it's wild out in these streets, right? Like it's crazy. I don't know. So that was very long-winded. What's on your mind?
No, I love it. Yeah, I love that you emphasize like the amount of self-love it takes because when you are wanting to embody your higher self remembers that they are whole. And a part
Mm,
of that wholeness, you love all parts of you. And I remember that was a lesson I learned, like, honestly, a year and a half ago, where there were parts of me, yeah, I still really didn't like. And I was just kind of emphasizing and loving on the amazing, like, glittery parts. But I'm like, oh, like the parts that I'm really ashamed of, the parts of me that I feel like are the reason people don't like me or what I was left out, like, are actually lovable. I have to love all parts of me. And also, like, my soulmate will love all parts of me. Like, my friends will love all parts of me. And God loves all parts of me. And actually, there's so much beauty and gift in the shadow parts. And I remember a download I got like a few months ago from Spirit is our fears are like stars. Like we're not able to see the stars unless it's nighttime and dark out. And all the
mm,
stars want us to do is just have them look at them and appreciate them. Like we're not there to burn ourselves on the stars, but really like, oh, like it's actually not so bad. It's actually something really beautiful. And they
mhm,
reveal to us these beautiful, powerful gifts. Like I know one of my criticisms I got a lot in school and in my former career. They were like, well, we need to pull you back down to earth. You're thinking way too, and I'm like, oh, I'm just way too fucking creative. Like, I just have big dreams and I have big ideas. Like, okay, that's awesome. Like, that's actually not a flaw. If anything, I want to think big and I want to be a big dreamer, and I am an abundant source of creativity. So it's like giving yourself permission and actually realizing that every single one of the parts that like we have felt shame for or people have shamed us for are actually they're just windows to our gifts, like really. And
Mhm.
so then again, when you can take that perspective, um you will be able to feel more embodied in your higher self. And also, I've been studying Kabbalah and I've been absolutely loving it. It deeply resonates with me. And something my teacher has said is pain is cleansing. Pain has so
Mm,
much wisdom. You bypass the pain, you bypass the wisdom. And
mm,
so that's what's really important when it comes to timelines is like, in order to, yeah, like like you were just saying, like in order to step into this higher version of myself who like wants this, who desires this on a soul level and knows that they are worthy of it, I do have to give love to that child of me that is like really hurting and that is really wounding. But knowing that, like, I saw a quote the other day that was saying, tears are the ice that's thawing off the heart. Like, I don't know if I said that right, but like allow tears to be so cleansing and like open you up and allow pain to be cleansing. Like pain is
mhm.
obviously it's absolutely painful, but it's so beautiful. And uh what's been really nice in the last 2 years is like I go through these moments of literally right before this podcast, I was telling Leilani, I'm like, I just had a really good cry, but I don't cry for as long. And it's not because I'm stopping myself from crying. It's just I have this deep certainty that everything's working out for me. And I have this deep
Mhm.
certainty that everything's going to be okay. And it's like that moment you take a breath after crying, you're like, wow, I actually feel so much better. Like it's cathartic for a reason.
Right. I actually received a download. This was earlier in this journey for me, so about 4 years ago, that tears are the physical manifestation of healing.
Ugh.
Like that we cannot heal without letting our bodies
Mm.
physically release in that way. And that
Mm-hmm.
can be tears of joy. Like how healing are tears of joy, Like that can be tears of sorrow, of sadness, of grief, of I get really sorrowful that I'm like here sometimes, like
Mm-hmm.
this planet and the destruction that we're witnessing and the ways that humans are just not great all the time. Like I cry and I think that there's that for so many of us that are so tapped into the collective grief, the collective experience, the like we are also filtering a lot of these emotions
Mm-hmm.
for ourselves as a whole. So I think that's really beautiful. I'm feeling into the chaos portal.
Let's do it,
Like
babe.
she's spicy.
She's really spicy.
She's so like we're in this chaos portal. I feel like it's been really intense lately, but it really I really started to feel the chaos in terms of like colliding timelines and whatnot back if you believe in Lionsgate or not, but like 8
Mm.
24 is like when I really started to like experience like okay, chaos as a constant.
Mm.
Um, and so I have done some writing and some channeling from portal energy. I'm curious if you're connecting to any messages or wisdom that the current, I mean, there's so many chaos portals. I see like it kind of looks like that is it Doctor Who that has like all the portals? I don't know, but like I'm seeing like a billion of them, and I'm curious if there's anything that you're channeling for the listeners around chaos in this moment.
Um, what's coming through right now is actually what looks like chaos. It's actually just it's another iteration of divine timing and
Mm,
almost like quote unquote speeding up divine timing. And chaos has to be created in order for like something really unsustainable to truly fall. And sometimes like that is just honestly the karma of it. I'm trying my best to really reprogram that, because obviously you and I both know this and I really resonate with it, is there's no good or bad. It's just
No.
the way I've begun to word it is sustainable or unsustainable, because there's
Mm,
sustainable and like, we know what it feels like and it's grounded and true, but then there's unsustainable, and the things that are unsustainable, it's gonna experience the karma that it needs to experience. And also the goddess that's really coming through right now is like Kali. Like,
mm,
yes, like chaos feels like we're being punished. Chaos may come off like, just punishment, but actually it can be some of the most loving, nurturing experiences of our lives. And I know, like, in my like timeline shift I went through, what really happened was my higher self grabbed the wheel, because I was like, Queen, grab the wheel. Like, I want to
mm,
step into you, and I want to step into like my prayers and receiving my prayers of X, Y, and Z. But my human self was on the way of catching up, and her heart was broken.
mhm,
And it felt like chaos. It was like, wait, what? That was just in a blink of an eye, everything changed. But it was the most loving thing possible, because I think that's also something with timelines is chaos timelines. Yes, again, our heart may be broken in the process, but they actually take us out of a timeline that really like wasn't necessary. Like,
mhm,
bless this person's heart that I was heartbroken over, but I have this clear cognizant, just this knowing that for some reason, if I didn't do that, I would have been with him for 2 years, which
mm,
like is great. Like 2 years is great, but I didn't need to be on that timeline, like
mhm,
I just, and I've actually, my romances in this last year, it's so crazy. They have each lasted a month. And I think that's because spirit like soars. And actually, a conversation I was having with a beautiful, gorgeous soul sister, she's like, the universe has such high standards for us. And it's like,
right.
okay, how like every single day, how can I embody the standards that God has for me, that source has for me? So honestly, I don't know. I want to try to see chaos as like delicious. Like,
Mm,
chaos is also so erotic. Like, how much, and not like eroticism, not as like sex, but eroticism in aliveness. Like, or like
mm,
it's just,
pleasure.
it's so like, we just totally, we are so open, and we feel so vulnerable. Like, God, I have the chills. Like, we feel so vulnerable in these moments when we feel so alive. And it's like, that's why there are souls lined up to get onto earth, because they're like, I want that. I want to experience that. What it feels like to be heartbroken over and over again, but then come into unity with my person, or like
Mm,
experience friendship, like true soul friendship. And like like we signed up for, and we knew that so much heartbreak was going to be a part of the process, but then that heartbreak gives us the capacity for so much joy and so much aliveness and juiciness. So I don't know, I just like Kali just comes so clearly to me, and
mhm,
I just keep hearing her like comforting us. Like, she's like, Angel, it's okay. Like, this is all a
mhm,
part of the process. Like, not everything funny. Like they're poking fun, but obviously, like Mother Mary obviously understands fear and shadow, but she's like, not everything's like Mother Mary. Like, not everything's like
mhm,
roses and soft. Like, it needs to be tough out there. Like, and if it wasn't like that, then we wouldn't be recognizing our light as much. Like, we not that we'd forget it or take it for granted, but like that's the point of pain. Like, we are
right.
like the gift and the juiciness of recognizing our light more and more. I mean, that is what, like, that's the reason why Leilani and I, when we became initiated into the spirit world, we literally cannot look back.
No.
And not because, like,
Sometimes I wish I could.
Oh my God. I know, isn't that funny? And I know for me, like at least what I felt, like I just didn't have a choice. I'm like, I literally don't have a choice. Like I may lose friends, I may lose my family. I actually don't have a choice in the matter. Like I have to do this. But because it is so beautiful to embody my soul more and more every single day. Like it is just the most gratifying, beautiful experience. And like when it comes to embodying my soul, it's like everything. There's everything. There's joy, there's love, there's harmony, there's peace, there's silliness, there's also heartbreak and pain. And yeah, this was again long-winded, but
No. So goddess Kali being the goddess of destruction and
mm,
death, right?
hmm.
Um, it's like we can't have chaos without destruction. We can't have chaos
Yeah.
without loss. We can't
Yeah.
like to be able to exist neutrally within chaos, I think is some of the most divine work that we can do to exist within chaos without judgment, without
Mm,
self-judgment, without
hmm.
judgment of those we are losing, missing, whatever. Um, and yeah, I think it's interesting because I talk about this in my book quite a bit. Like we can choose to see destruction as a bad thing, or we can choose to see destruction as the beautiful gift that it is and can be. And yeah, I'm just feeling into like I'm feeling into the chaos portal. I don't necessarily I'm just feeling there's a lot of people who are listening who are in such despair
Mm,
in their chaos right now. They are like, did I choose the wrong life? I was listening to my intuition and I ended up here. I don't have anything that I thought I would. I don't have the life I thought I would. I don't have the people I thought I would. Like just this empty experience. And what this chaos portal is reminding you, I mean, I loved the imagery of like Kali comforting us, like the goddess, the queen of destruction, saying it'll be okay. Like, what
hmm.
is more comforting than being held by the goddess who knows this moment so intimately,
Mm,
right?
yeah.
And to exist in chaos with the unknown, like there's so much unknown. I think this is something that I've really struggled with that I'm finally getting some ironically some clarity on, is that I've been terrified of the unknown my entire life. Like
Mm,
I've been getting these visions consistently for 15 years, and then finally like okay, I'm psychic. Eventually, 4 years ago, I'm like, okay, these visions mean something. They're not just imagination. They're not just ideation. It's like it means something. And there's this clarity that I have like reached for, that I've really made myself sick over sometimes, like trying to understand the vision, connect, attach to the visions. Like there's this like comfort that I seek in like knowing what's next, knowing the clarity, all of this. And I'm finally in a place, literally as of last night, where I'm like, you know what? The visions are beautiful. They are potentials. They are pathways. There's
hmm.
so much, there's so many, there's so much opportunity. I call it like the womb of possibility.
Mm,
We're in this womb of possibility where like literally everything exists around us and we can make choices to magnetize whatever is next. And I've never spent a calm moment in like, this is the only moment that exists. I don't have to know the
ah,
future. Like I am literally in the unknown. And that to me, like I feel like I've been swirling in this chaos portal because I'm like, oh, there's a vision. Oh, there's a pathway. Oh, there's that. And there's no
ah,
clarity. There's been no clarity because the possibilities are, I mean, I'm literally like floating in a womb of possibilities. And like just last night, I was like, what if in this chaos portal, of like an infinite amount of possibilities that I just allowed myself to experience and exist within the unknown.
Mm.
And then all of a sudden the chaos like quieted. And I literally am like full of goosebumps. It quieted. And all that's left when we allow ourselves to exist peacefully with this peaceful relationship with the unknown, the only thing that exists is this moment.
Yes.
It's the only thing. Okay, so what's in this moment? Well, I feel X, Y, and Z toward this person. Like I have this like romantic connection that I'm like, I know that I love this person deeply. That's all I know. I don't know where that
Mhm.
goes, but that's all I know. I
Mhm.
know that I love writing. I love my work. I love connecting to God's source. In this moment, I know that I trust whatever that looks like. So now I'm like, today, literally just today, I'm in this space of like, I get to then wander through my life. Like, what does it look like to just wander from moment to moment, knowing that God's source, the universe, will never let me fall, knowing that, like, as long as I listen to the desires of my heart and the intuition that's flowing to me at all times, I'm always provided for. And it's not that the chaos needs to go away, but the despair around it was
Yes.
not supporting me, right? So, yeah.
Ah, I
Ugh,
love it. Thank you so much for sharing. And it's so beautiful. I resonate with that as well. Like where yeah, I totally have fear around uncertainty. And that's what's really interesting is I'm sure this has happened to you too, where you've had your, psychics or practitioners say, oh, this is going to happen and it doesn't happen. And of course, when I was younger, I'd be like so bummed about it. But then
right.
I'm like, wait, thank God I didn't do that or get in that relationship because that would have it just wasn't a part of my higher timeline. And then so an amazing book, one of my favorite books, and like this trance channeler that I just so deeply admire and respect. Her name is Krista Schumacher. She's a full body channel for Yeshua. And she wrote this book called The Freedom Transmissions. And it's astounding. It's amazing. And I read it twice and I need to read it again. And it's a book you need to read over and over again. And there's something where they go into the void. And Yeshua was saying, like, think back to the womb. It's literally the most nourishing place. Like, you
Mhm.
are absolutely surrendered. Like, absolutely. Like, totally surrendered. And you are so taken care of. Like, the mom becomes this, like, beautiful well of just nourishment. Like, this is just insane. And so that's where I try to get in that perspective of like, I'm in this uncertainty, but I'm in the womb, and the womb is so deeply nourishing. Like, what a gift
Yeah.
that I just get to not be like passive, but just fucking let God do it. Like, just
Mhm.
surrender. And I also just finished Women Who Run with the Wolves, which there's not even a reason to review this book. Every woman just has to read it. And something that Clarissa Pinkola Estes says, she was saying this is a saying said her and her family that some things are just God's business. And that's the
Mhm.
really funny part about uncertainty is us humans, we forget that we're souls walking and we're unlimited and we have this beautiful like capacity, but we also are limited and there's only so much we can literally do because of our physical body. And that's okay. And then
Mhm.
that's where God gets to close. If we allow, let God close. Actually, God will, regardless, close the circle. He'll finish the story. He'll help finish the he'll they will help finish the story. And there's something really lovely about that because then we can actually just relax or
Right.
at least surrender because I don't know. I have so many gorgeous amazing girlfriends that oh, they know it to be true. Like they're control freaks and they're like, yeah, I'm a control freak. And so much of the time, obviously, they're not ready to hear it, but I'm like, babe, like you need to let God close that circle, or like let God finish that story, because you cannot control if, so and so ends up dying sooner or not. Like you cannot control if like this person's going to say yes, because also with timelines, something that like spirit showed me a while ago is what I saw is just our soul, and there's like millions of timelines literally
Yeah.
coming out of us. It's
Mm-hmm.
insane.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but regardless of which timeline we're on, we are never going backward. We're always moving towards our highest timeline, always. But it could be the next life we meet this person, or the next life. But regardless, we're always going to be on our highest soul's timeline. But it's just about our decisions and whatever.
Yeah.
Um, and in order for a certain timeline to work out, this person needs to say yes. That person needs to say
Yes.
yes. This environment, like it is just you will go crazy if you are anxious over, oh my God, I hope this person texts me back, and then whatever. Like it's bonkers. And so
Mm-hmm.
again, there's something beautiful about remembering that we have autonomy, taking ownership of, again, who's writing the script of your
Mm-hmm.
today, of your reality. And also know, like, this was even a wisdom, like the first book I read that was like very deeply spiritual, and she's actually been on my podcast. She's
Oh, wow.
amazing. Her name's Rasha, and the first book I read of hers was Oneness, and it was really like you are never going backwards. Like you are never actually
Mm.
sidestepping. You're always moving forward, always.
Ugh.
They look like or feel like you're going backwards, but like you're always moving forward. So that was something so comforting to me. Like when I was really
Mm-hmm.
beginning my journey as a psychic medium, like a few years ago, because then you actually have so much more love for yourself. Like you
Yes.
actually have like more capacity to be like, have so much more compassion for that anxious self that made that silly decision. Like, oh God, why did I kiss that guy or date that guy? But like actually that I'm not going backward. Like that was really
Mm-hmm.
valuable for me. Or like, God, that job really sucked. I hated it. But that actually gave me a lot of lessons. Like every single thing is always an opportunity to learn. Every single thing. There's never mistakes. It's always, always, always opportunities.
Oh my gosh. What a beautiful, like, I feel like that's it. And the timeline thing, you nailed it. It's like the choices. Because I mean, we're coming to the end now, but I'll leave it with this is like every single choice that we make, and I have this thread pinned to the top of my threads, and maybe it'll be there when you listen to this and maybe not, but I have this writing about like the dimensional split offs that happen when we make different
Mm.
choices. Like, not only are we like experiencing different timelines at all times, infinite timelines, based on the choices we make, based on the choices that that person makes in relation to my choices that I make, like, there's these infinite, like, echoes of dimensions that are created based on, like, I spend a ton of time and energy deciding whether or not I want to be with this person. So what happens to the energy of that decision you didn't make? It creates a new timeline. It creates a new dimensional reality.
Mm.
Some of them are like echoes, which are like further away from this timeline. Some of them are like closer. I mean, it's so expansive. It's so expansive. And so what I love about what you said is like it really comes down to choices. It comes down to the choices that we make to live into whatever timeline we want to exist within, and also the choice and no pressure. Like it's like you can't fuck it up, right? Like you cannot fuck up. And also like the choices that I make to love myself through the moments where I don't choose whatever higher reality or whatever the perception is, like you just can't fuck it up. Like, I don't know
Hmm.
how many times, like, the channeled message that's flowed through me for myself and for the people whom I support is like, you're doing everything right. You're
Mm.
literally doing everything right. Even in the moments where you're anxious and you're in the job you hate and you're in a marriage that is not feeling like you have this awareness of the lessons that you are capturing in whatever experience you're in. You cannot mess this up.
Hmm.
You cannot.
Hmm.
And then I even hesitate to say, even the leaders who are just making awful choices and people are sitting in oppression and all of that, it's like we also need, like, there are some catalysts that exist that are like negative catalysts, right? That, like, if we didn't have this common enemy, then we wouldn't have like the people who are rising up and remembering who the fuck they are, right? So it's all of
Yes.
it's like it's all of it, and it's hard to hear sometimes because there's a lot of fucked up stuff happening in the world, and also you're doing everything right. You listening to this podcast episode, you are doing everything right.
Mm,
Yeah.
I love that. I love that you said that. Cause yeah, there's again, yeah, you and I have both been there. I know, like, I'm sure we know friends that feel like, God, I keep making mistake after mistake. I keep doing things wrong. And, it's just, it's something my dad says. He's like, like my parents from New Zealand, and I wish I could do their accent well, but I just never can. But he's just like, darling, like you are on your own journey. Everyone is on their own path. And it's just, you just have to stay in your lane. You have to honor your journey. And there's something so lovely about, I mean, of course, I feel pressure and things like that because my parents are immigrants and there's a whole thing with that. Woohoo. But it's really lovely to, like, even if you hear it from a parent or a friend, but like are we are all on our own journey. And
Mhm.
success is so different for everyone. And even like maybe this sounds kind of random. One of my favorite authors of all time is Toni Morrison. And like
Me
she did it.
too.
Oh my God. I'm literally
Yeah.
looking at a stack of her and James Baldwin just in the same stack.
Mhm.
I love them. And she didn't write Bluest Eye until she was 39. Like, and
That's
that is the book. That's her first book. And that is like one of her most famous books. And there's something so beautiful about that is like the journey it took for her, the mistakes she made, quote unquote, or the love she had, like everything. And we just give up too soon, and we
right.
just can't. Honestly, we have to really honor our journey and how every single thing is breaking us open, lifting us up for our highest timeline always.
Mm. Oh, Alexandra, I love you so much. Toni Morrison's The Bluest Eye is arguably the book that made me want to be an author, honestly.
Oh,
Yeah, so
oh my
it's
God, I
just funny that
love.
synchronicity. I was just like, of course you mentioned that book, and it's just like
Oh
full
my
circle.
God.
So the question, I mean, we could talk forever, and I will probably have you back on eventually.
Oh, gorgeous. Perfect.
Please.
Amazing.
And the question I always ask everyone is, what is your bumper sticker? What is the one piece of wisdom that you would put all over the world if you could?
I love that. That's such a fun, silly question. How do I word this? Being yourself magnetizes everything that is meant for you.
Oof.
Like your authenticity is radiant, is magnificent, and is magnetic. And I wish I've always been myself, but I think for so many years of my life, I never felt seen. But that's just because I wasn't seeing myself and yada, yada. You know how it goes. And even the big lesson I learned, which I won't get too deep into it, but it was actually literally a karmic thing when I understood my south node and north node is literally choosing myself. For
Mm,
so many years, I was choosing other people and hoping they would choose me back. But really the big thing is, and something I've really been loving is choosing myself. Does this person choose me? Does this decision right now choose me? Am I choosing myself? And when you choose yourself and you truly are your most delicious, authentic self, I'm telling you, everything that you desire, all of your prayers, your heart, just you, then people can actually find you because you're
mm,
being yourself. When you're not yourself, you're hiding yourself. And then literally,
yeah.
like, they can't find you. So be yourself and you are magnetized to everything that you desire. So, yes.
It's like the most energetically efficient way to acquire like the timeline that
Yep.
you're
Yep.
desiring, the things, the people, like just truly self-love, be yourself, like love on yourself so much that you can't exist in the world in any other way, right? Like
Yes. Oh my God.
it's beautiful. And then it's just like, shoop, it's like, oh, like this has happened to me so many times in the last 4 years. It's like, I wasn't looking for love or whatever. It's 12/12 now, which I've
Love it.
translated as droves of hope. Like there's droves of hope. And it's like we get to like exist in this way, deeply authentic on a soul level. And then it's like, oh, that person came out of nowhere. That opportunity came out. Like, how did that
Yep.
opportunity even happen? Like, because I commented on something? Like, that's
Yep.
insane. Right.
Yep.
So beautiful, Alexandra. Where can we find you? Where are you existing in the world?
Okay. Well, first of all, Leilani, thank you so much. And I love that we've connected. And I just love all the voice notes, the podcast, all the things to come. And I love learning from you. So you guys can find me on Instagram and on Threads at the modern medium underscore. And you can book services with me or understand like how I can serve you on my website at themodernmedium.com. And I have a podcast, Embody Your Soul, which is available wherever you love to listen. And Leilan's will be on there, you guys. So stay tuned. Or I'm sure even maybe you said a couple months this will be out. So maybe you'll, anyways, like
Yeah,
Leilani will
yours
be on
might
my
be out before
podcast.
mine.
Oh yeah. And I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, that's really it. Also, like if you are visiting Orange County or you live in Orange County, like I am based here so I can see you in person, or I'm a practitioner at Mercababe Designs in Laguna Beach. So like stop by. I'm there all the time, and there we have sound baths and women's circles and events. So that's a way to
Wow.
meet me and understand my magic and like little fun bite sizes events. But otherwise, like I just can't thank you enough. I love how,
Ah,
yeah, I just love how we've connected and we're just going to keep playing.
I'm so grateful. Thank you so much for sharing your light and your wisdom and for the light that you bring to our world. Like, I just have full goosebumps. Like, everything that you exist as, who you exist as, is so important here. And we love you. And I can't wait to have you back on. Oh my gosh, y'all. Thank you so much for being here for this conversation with my dear connection, Alexandra Shelly. Gosh, I could not even begin to tell you my favorite parts of this episode. But what's really sitting with me at this moment is this understanding that we are so much bigger than we ever can even quantify or feel into. This energy of expansion, expansiveness, that we're a part of something greater, that we have the ability to tap into it at any given time. It was just such a gift to share this space with Alexandra, and I hope that you all walk away feeling so much more capable, so much more divine after having listened to it. If you want to connect with Alexandra, you can find all of her information in the show notes. If you want to work with me or attend a workshop or watch a replay for an Earth Angel activation, there's so many ways to connect with me. You can find all that in the show notes as well. But for now, be still, my friends, and live into your impact. I'm so grateful you're here, and I'll talk to you soon.